doing it in the Starbucks bathroom. Now, this honestly was the most weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm so surprised this even happened in the first place. Because as you guys may know, we have a crazy bathroom story series on this channel. And I didn't think this was gonna be part of it, but it seems like it did. And the way this ended up happening was honestly intense, and it was actually hilarious. So make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as well as I am currently live on Twitch. If you guys want to go check that out, go right for it. Links down in the bio. But let's get straight into this crazy story. What is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So today's story, funny enough, takes place back when I was in grade 12. Back in grade 12, this was towards graduation year, and honestly, I remember one time me and my friends were all hanging out in the cafeteria. As we were all sitting around chilling in the cafeteria, I remember a friend of mine walks up to the table saying, "Yo, bro, like there's like these group of like white chicks just chilling outside. Do you want to go check them out?" Me and my friends, we ended up standing up and going straight to the outside area where they were hanging out. I remember as we got there, we ended up looking around and kind of just looking at them, and they were kind of glancing at us, and knowing there was a group of girls and a group of guys, honestly, everything kind of worked out. Obviously, there was only 4 of the girls though, and there was only 5 of us, so obviously one of the guys had to get laid back, and by laid back, I mean like, you know, get away, because no one likes a 6th wheel, that would be. But then I remember that one of my friends walked up to me saying, "Bro, can you sit out for this one? Can I have a chance?" I remember I looked at him and I like kind of like felt bad, because like this sounds really rude of me to say, but he was the ugly one in the group. Like, you guys cannot deny this. In every friend group, there's always that one ugly person, or that one person that never, how do I put this, is not the most photogenic. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but you know, from my resume of women compared to his, the only thing he had was his mom. So obviously, knowing me, I did say to him, "Yeah, bro, like go for it. Like she looks better for you anyway." And I kind of leaned off. We ended up walking up to the group of girls, and I remember as we walked up to them, the group of girls were kind of like already like choosing who they kind of wanted, because even though we had a choice, they also had a choice of who they wanted. And I remember the girl walked up to me and she's like, "Oh, like, so like, what's your name?" And I kind of looked at her. I'm like, "Oh, this is my buddy. His name is, I'm not gonna say what's his name, guys. I don't actually can't say his name legally, but we're just gonna call him Gerald." I said, "Hey, this is Gerald." The girl looks over at me and she's like, "Okay, but like, what's your name?" And me being the awesome wingman I am, I was like, "His name is Gerald." Kind of giving her the hint that I kind of wanted her to go away from me. Even though I'm not gonna lie, she was hot. She looked kind of like weird at me, and then after she looked at Gerald, she's like, "Hi, Gerald. How are you?" And from there, I ended up just walking away. Now, you guys probably think, okay, why would you hand off a girl like that? That's kind of weird. And I agree, it is, but at the same time, you know, like I said, I felt bad for the guy. Anyways, I remember as a group, we all ended up going to the mall together, because the mall was like 5 minutes away from our school. But as we were heading there, I remember how much it sucked being a 6th wheel. Like, I'm sorry, if you're being a 6th wheel or even a 3rd wheel or any sort of wheel in general, just leave. I remember I was planning to go get my car and just basically just go straight home. And as I was on my phone, I realized that someone was right behind me that just walked up beside me. And it was the same girl that I introduced to my buddy Gerald. Now, this is where things get really weird, because I remember it was me, the girl, and then Gerald on the other side. And Gerald was trying so hard to get close to this girl. And then after that, this girl was getting so hard to get close to me. And me, I was just walking. So I remember I ended up turning to the girl and saying, "Oh, like, did I tell you, like, Gerald, like, he plays basketball?" She looks at me and she's like, "Oh, so like, what do you play?" She really tried to get my attention. And I know it sounds kind of like, okay, like, you know, why didn't you just, you know, give the girl yourself and just, you know, quit being weird about it? And I'm not gonna lie, I would, but I was already at that state where I was planning on leaving and going home. So, you know, it makes sense. And then eventually throughout the time when we were at the mall, I remember my friend comes over to me and pulls me aside. He says, "Bro, are you actually like planning on leaving? Because this girl's all over you. It gets me to the point where I think I should just leave instead." And I remember I looked at him, I told him like, "Bro, like, don't worry, keep going for her. I'm not gonna say anything, nor am I gonna do anything." That's what I initially said. Boy, was I wrong. I remember we ended up all as a group going to Starbucks, and this was like no small Starbucks. Like, this was a big Starbucks that was like massive. And I remember as we got there, we ended up looking around and we kind of sat down as a group. We all ordered Starbucks, we all got some food, some snacks, and obviously we ended up getting some drinks. Me, my usual Starbucks drinks is a caramel frappuccino. You guys can laugh at me for it. I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, as we were sitting there, all sitting together, the girl ended up sitting beside me, and me, I got to the point where I just stood up and started walking away. But as I started standing up and walking away, I remember she kind of like looks over to me and walks over to me saying, "Excuse me, where are you going?" And I told her, "Oh, I'm probably just gonna head home," and stuff like that. She's like, "Can I come with you?" And I look at her and I told her like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like, I'm busy for the rest of the day. Go ahead and ask Gerald." She looks at me again and she's like, "Well, like, do you have to leave?" As she like comes up closer to me, and then she starts stroking my leg. Now at that point, I already knew that she was initially in the mood. And I'm sorry, once a girl comes up to you that close and wants to do the devil's tango, you're not gonna just be like, sorry, psych. Like, no, it's obviously not something that's gonna happen. I remember looking at this and Gerald was like looking from afar and kind of seeing the whole thing go down. And he was pissed off already. So at that point, he like got up and just left. And as he left, I remember he went right through the door, which was kind of near us at the time. And I remember the girl looks over and says, oh, looks like Gerald's gone. And we ended up going back and sitting down. Except we weren't sitting down with my friend group again. We were kind of sitting down far away. At that point, my friends were kind of like, you know, not surprised, but weirded out. And they're kind of like winking at me, being all like, ooh, like Bubba's gonna get it. Which is not a surprising thing for them. And one thing led to another. I told her I had to go to the bathroom. So I got up, I started going to the bathroom. And when I did, I ended up just going in there. I sat down on the toilet seat and I remember there was a knock on the door. I remember yelling, occupied. But then I see this piece of paper slip under the door. And it was no normal piece of paper. To be honest, it was one of those sleeves on like a coffee mug they usually put on it. And I remember it said on it, open the door now. I looked all like kind of weird and kind of like freaked out. And I opened the door and I see it was her. She slips into the bathroom, closes the door right away. And then she just instantly hops onto me. When she did that, I remember me and her, we ended up doing the Devil's Tango. And we were just in there. I want to say that went on for like a minimum of like 10 minutes. Not even. Like we weren't in there for that long, to be honest. Because what I remember is that my friends would text me saying, yo, bro, like, where'd you go? Like, the girls have to leave. They have a ride home. And I'm like looking at her and she's looking at me and I'm like, you should go. As we're like midway through it. And she's like, oh, like, let me at least like, you know, like come over to your place maybe later tonight. I looked at her and I'm like, to be honest, I'm busy tonight. In reality, I actually wasn't busy. I just had to play Call of Duty that night. And I remember we both left the bathroom and a Starbucks worker was just kind of like standing on the side, kind of saw us both walking out at the same time. And she looks over and she's like, excuse me, were you guys using the same bathroom? I look at her and I'm like, no. And then after that, the girl's like, no, sorry. And then she just left through the door and went home. And in my head, I'm thinking, she really just left. She really just pumped and dumped. Like, this girl, she just pulled a me. To this day, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of surprised that ever happened. And I remember my friends were outside afterwards as well, kind of being like, yo, where were you? We're looking for you. And I had to explain to them that I basically ditched them and went to the bathroom and ended up doing the Devil's Tango. And then I remember that wasn't even the worst part, because I think the worst part is that Gerald ended up calling me saying, yo, bro, like the girl that we were talking to, she added me on Snap. I think she actually likes me. And then 10 minutes later goes to say, bro, actually, she wants your Snap. What's your Snap so I can give it to her? Over text. That is crazy. This girl went through Gerald, the guy that I was trying to, you know, introduce her to get my Snap. That's actually hilarious. I don't know. I found that hilarious right after because Gerald was like talking about it all week. But yeah, that is like basically it. All right, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And once again, I'm currently live on Twitch down below. So go ahead and click down there to go watch me live. And on top of that, like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. All right, peace out, guys.